All right, good morning, everyone. This is going to be a little bit different today for your guided PowerPoint notes. And obviously, this is through Edpuzzle. So I'm going to try this for your guided notes and see if it works out better for you guys. It'll allow you to interact more and it'll allow me to gauge your learning while you're doing these. So without further ado, we're going to start on day 3, which is actually day 2. Goods and services, jobs and industries, and supply and demand. So by the end of today's class, what you will be able to answer will be the following. What does competition do for consumers? A healthy economy has 2 characteristics. What are they? What has an impact on the economy of a country? What happens to the price of supply increases but demand stays the same? What is the difference between a good and a service? And what are 3 ways people use money? Identify taxes people pay in life and understand the 50-30-20 rule on income. Those are going to be the questions that you'll be able to answer by the time that you're done watching this. All right, so words to know, and there's 9 of them today. So bear with me on this. I'm just going to say them real quick, and then you guys can study them using your study guide. So supply, the amount of something that is available. Demand, how much is something people want. Economy is a system of how money is made and used within a particular country or region. Goods are things people want. Services is an action that a person does for someone. Taxes is a fee charged by the government on a product or service. And job is work done regularly for pay. Industry is a group of businesses or manufacturers that produce a particular type of good or service. And now we're going to get into the lesson. All right, so supply and demand. This covers your Ohio Standard Government strand. Your topic is civic participation and skills. That's your Ohio State standards that this lesson is going to cover for your supply and demand. So what is supply and demand? Well, if you look at this little weight here, you can see that supply and demand right here is uneven. And if it's uneven, that means it is not a healthy economy, okay? So you need to have just as much supplies as you do have demands. So goods. So let's talk about some goods. Goods are things that you buy. We talked about this yesterday, a little bit about providing a service to people or buying something. Okay, so a good is just something that you can buy and take home, like shoes, fast food, CDs that you guys don't even probably know what a CD is anymore. But so shoes, fast food, clothes, all those things that I showed you is a good, right? This is something that you can touch, you can feel, you can eat, or you can listen to. So this is a good. And services. So a service is like if you go and get your haircut, if somebody mows your lawn, if somebody paints your house, a construction worker building a house, an electrician, a plumber, all those types of services. Like I think somebody said like a maid yesterday. And those are the types of things that are services. You can't touch them. You can't take those home. You can't eat them. You can't use them. It's somebody providing something for you. That's the difference between a service and a good, okay? A good you can take home, a service somebody does for you. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about supply. How much is something that is available? That is what supply is. It's how much is something that is available. So what that means is demand is the exact opposite. How much is something that people want, okay? So and those two work hand in hand. And whenever they work hand in hand, you gotta think if there's so much supply and only a little bit of demand, then anybody can buy it. If there's not enough supply and a lot of demand, meaning people want to buy a lot of them, you're not going to be able to buy it. So let's think about an ice cream shop. Okay. So if we think about an ice cream shop, chocolate will be the most popular color. Chocolate will be the most popular flavor in the ice cream shop. So in this scenario, chocolate has a very high demand because it's the most popular. Okay. So your demand is high and your supplies doesn't meet your demand. So too many people want chocolate and they don't have enough chocolate on hand to give it to everybody. So what happens? What happens to the price? So I'm going to pause here for 2 seconds and let you guys answer the question that will pop up. Okay, so what happens to the price? Well, you got to remember the rules, right? And the rules are popular items cost more, there's more of a demand and less supply. Not popular items is costs less and less demand and a high supply. Okay, so if there's a big demand and not enough for it, the price is going to go up. If there's not enough people buying it and they have too much of it, they're going to try to move that product by lowering the cost. Okay, so, do you understand what happens to the price if supply increases but demand stays the same? So, what that means is if that chocolate ice cream, they order in 500 gallons of chocolate ice cream. So now they have a lot of supply, but now the favorite flavor at the ice cream store isn't chocolate anymore. Maybe it's strawberry. All right. So, what that happens is now you have a supply increasing and your demand stays the same or goes down a little bit. What do you think would happen to the price? Because they got a whole bunch of supply. What do you think would happen? Okay, so what'll happen here? Jelly beans are in high demand. Will the price go up? Will the price go down? Or will the price stay the same? So jelly beans are in high demand. So we don't know the answer to this, but if because we don't know the supply of it, right? So more than likely your prices are going to go up. Okay? Your prices are going to go up because we don't know the supply of the jelly beans, but anytime something is in high demand, your prices usually go up. So let's think about this. The newest model of vacuum cleaners are available now, and there is a high demand for them, meaning everybody wants to buy them. What do you think would happen? Will the price go down? Will the price go up? Will the price stay the same? And just like before, we don't know the supply, but generally the price will go up, okay, when there's a high demand for it. All right, so the store has too many swimsuits left over after summer. Okay, so now it's wintertime. Wintertime in Ohio, nobody's buying swimsuits because you can't use them. So that means your demand went down, but they got a lot of supplies. So what's going to end up happening here with the swimsuit price? Yeah, and if you chose B, that the swimsuit price will go down, you're absolutely right because the stores are going to want to get those out of their store before the new swimsuits come in. So the price will go down so that way they can sell these items more easily. Okay, so we got to remember the term market driven. All right, so we're going to go back to that ice cream shop. Okay, so sellers and buyers, we talked about this yesterday. If you're a seller, you're selling something. If you're buying or a buyer, you're buying something. Okay, and that relationship is very important. And the reason why it's important is because if there's no demand and too much supply, or a high demand and not enough supply, that those two things right there, if there's not enough demand and too much supply, or they want or a high demand, meaning they want to buy something and they don't have enough of it to sell, those two things are going to slow down the economy. That means everything comes to a halt almost, and that hurts businesses, that hurts buyers, that hurts sellers, that hurts everybody. So if buying and selling slows down, economy does too, and it hurts everybody. Okay, so we got to have an equal balance here, an equal balance between the demand and the supply. So some impacts on the economy. Growth. Okay, so you have to have growth in an economy. A healthy economy has growth, meaning businesses open and close. Employment. You got to have people who have jobs, right? Because if you don't have a job, you're not going to be able to buy something. And if you can't buy something, then we can go right back to the market driven rule on the previous page that buying and selling slow down. It slows down the economy and it hurts everybody. So everybody has to be employed to have a job so they can make money. Price stability. That means it doesn't move too much. And the way that we can look at price stability is if you go to Walmart or if you go to a gas station, a gallon of milk is going to run you anywhere between $2 and $3, depending on where you buy it at. Okay. So that's a price stability. It doesn't move too much. You're not going to pay $5 for a gallon of milk, just like you're not going to pay 25 cents for a gallon of milk. Generally speaking, your price average of a gallon of milk is between $2 and $3. And your output is an impact on the economy, right? What is being made? And it goes back to the supply and demand. So if you don't have enough stuff being made, you don't have enough supplies. If you don't have enough supplies, then that slows down your economy because people can't buy stuff. Okay. So did you get this? What is an impact on the economy of a country? Is it growth, businesses opening, closing, and employment, people who have jobs? Or B, price stability, doesn't move too much, and output, what is being made? Or is it C, all of the above? Okay, guys, so yeah, I just went over this. It is all of the above. All right, that's what this is. This one's all of the above. All four factors here has an impact on the country. So is it a good or a bad economy? This is what we have to look at. A good or a bad economy. And how do we know? Well, we have something called the gross national product. And it's not like, ew, gross. There's something sticky on the bottom of my shoe. That's not the type of gross we're talking about. Okay, so the gross national product is the total output of goods and services in a year for a country. So that means how many things were made, how many services were provided in a year for the entire country. That's your gross national product. And that tells you whether or not it's a good or a bad economy. So the way it works is it's a monetary value of goods and services. Okay, the gross domestic product is something completely different than what I just mentioned. If I go back one slide, the gross national product is just the output. Okay, so that just gives you a number. So this just gives you a number. Okay, if you go to the next, when we go to the next slide and we talk about the gross domestic product, that gives you the monetary value of goods and services. So if you are a country and you're selling 1 million balloons at $1 a piece, you're only going to be $1 million of your gross domestic product. But if you sell a lot of goods, say cars and computers and all the other stuff that costs a lot of money, your gross domestic product is going to be through the roof. Okay, it's going to go higher. And that's why we look at an economy this way with the gross domestic product, because it actually uses money. Okay, so that actually uses money, and that's what we want to look at. And like I said, it's used more often. So a healthy economy. So how do you get a healthy economy? I talked a little bit about this earlier, but it's about balance, right? I showed you that scale at the very beginning, and supply and demand were not balanced. Okay, so it has to be balanced. It got to grow, but it can't grow too fast or too slow. If it grows too fast, then the supplies will outnumber the demand. If it grows too slow, demand will outnumber the supplies. Okay, so that is how that would work. So a healthy economy has to be balanced, and it has to be growing, but not too fast and not too slow. So it's kind of like the three bears, right? This one's too hot, this one's too cold, this one's just right. That's how the healthy economy works. It has to be not too fast and not too slow, but it has to be growing. So another thing about a healthy economy, competition. Okay, competition is a great thing. And the reason why competition is a great thing, say two businesses sell similar products, right? You see this all the time. You see commercials for supermarkets on TV all the time. So Walmart and Kroger, okay, we'll use those two big stores, big box stores. And say Walmart is selling a gallon of milk for $2.25 and Kroger is selling the gallon of milk for $2.15. Okay, that competition right there is why the price of milk doesn't go sky high. If there was only one place that you could buy milk from, they can say a gallon of milk can cost whatever they want, because they know nobody's going to come in and sell it cheaper because there is no competition. So that's why competition is a great thing. Okay, it lowers the selling price and it benefits the buyers. Okay, that's why competition and a healthy economy, these things have to go hand in hand. Okay, competition and a healthy economy, they go hand in hand. So again, like I just said about Walmart and Kroger, we can say we'll use Walmart and Kroger. Okay, so we're going to say store 1 is Walmart and store 2 is Kroger. Okay, so Walmart raises prices on apples. Okay, so what happens when Walmart raises the prices? Their supplies increase, right? Because people are like, I'm not paying that much for an apple. I could go someplace else. Okay, and Kroger sells apples because they keep the prices the same. So now it's cheaper to buy at Kroger than at Walmart. So what happens to Walmart's stock? It increases, right? They get too many apples. They're not selling enough and their supplies increase. Kroger then lowers their price on apples. And what happens to their supplies? A lot of people decide to buy apples and their supplies decrease. That means the number of apples that they have go down. Price of apples at Kroger's will probably increase a little bit because of supply and demand. Okay. But it's only until supplies are replenished. Okay. So it's only until that they get enough apples back in that they can lower the price again and it equals the demand. Okay. That's how that kind of works. So that's how competition works. And you have to have it in a healthy economy. Okay. So now we're going to talk a little bit more. So now we're going to review. Okay. So now we're going to review remembering what goods are. Okay. So remember, goods are objects that people want, they can touch and hold them, and items you can buy and take with you. Services are actions that people do for other people. You can't touch them, you can't take them with you. Driving a bus, cutting your hair, fixing cars are all services that people provide. Okay, so is it a good or a service? Is this a good or a service? The ice cream shop sells ice cream to people, and I'll wait for you guys to answer the question. And this is a good, right? This is a good. Ice cream shop selling ice cream to people is a good because ice cream you can take home, you can eat it, and that is a definition of a good. So is this a good or a service? A gardener cuts grass and trims yard. All right, guys. So yeah, this is a service, okay? Because this is an action that somebody is performing for you. So is this a good or a service? A mason. Now, a mason is a guy who builds houses with bricks. Is that a good or a service? Yeah, guys, that's a service also. Okay, because he's providing something for you. Okay, so now let's talk about money and everything about money. Okay, so how do you make money? Well, you get a job, right? How do you use money? You can spend it, you can save it, you can invest it. And can money work for you? That's my question to you. Can money work for you? That's the question. And I'll wait for you guys to answer the question. Okay, so we're going to come back to can money work for you? The answer is yes, and I'm going to explain to you how that works in the first place. All right, so once you get a job, what should you do? All right, you should spend some of it, you should save some of it, and you should probably pay some bills with it. So that's where the 50-30-20 rule comes in. Okay, you spend 50% on essentials. That means like your house, that means your food, that means your car, that means anything that you have to spend money on, you spend that 50% on. Okay, you spend the other 30% of it on fun stuff. Okay, so maybe video games, computers, concerts, sporting events, anything that is fun. Okay, so right there, you spent 80% of your paycheck. The other 80%, you save it, or the other 20% that's left, you save. So that's where your 50, 30, and 20 rule comes into play. Okay, you save 20% of your paycheck for a rainy day. So making money, again, how do you make money? What is your dream job? All right. And I'm sure there's a variety of answers on this. What is your dream job? Just like there's a variety of industries, which are just a group of businesses that's a production of goods and services. Okay. So industries is a group of businesses, production of goods and services. So what is your dream job? Let's talk about that. There's all kinds of industries. Okay. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but whenever it comes to you choosing a career, and I know you guys are only in the fourth grade, and it's the last thing that you're thinking about, but there are so many industries that you guys can go into. And there's going to be more industries, right? Because as technology advances, more things are going to be created. So there's all kinds of industries that you guys can go into. Some take a college degree, some takes a trade school. And either one is perfectly okay. All right, so it's just whatever you guys want to do. So types of industries, I'm not reading all through those. So do you remember Ohio's major industries? All right, so Ohio's major industries: insurance and banking, motor vehicle assembling, steel production, agriculture, and research and development. And this research and development is part of the medical field, right? This is medical. So medical is a big industry in Ohio also. Okay. So saving some for tomorrow. So what we need to do, once you get that job, once you figured out a plan, you need to save some for tomorrow. And all this means is you're setting money aside. We want to set $20 out of every $100 you spend or that you earn. You want to save $20 of it. Okay. And by doing that, you're going to put money into a savings account. It's easy to spend money, so you're going to want to not do this, and it's hard to save money. So there's already things coming against you about why it's difficult to save money. You got to set money aside. You want to put it into a savings account, but you want to spend it also because maybe there's something that you want to do. And so that's why it's very hard to accomplish. And technology allows it to be a little bit easier. But you guys are way too young to worry about any of this stuff. So just know that it's really hard to save. You got to be really, you have to be you got to focus, and you got to focus hard on saving that money. So how much to save? Like I just said, $20 of every $100 earned. And how to save it? Well, you can budget, okay? Only spend that amount of money. So if you get $100, only spend 80 of it. And then track your spending. See where you're spending your money at. Reduce it if possible. I just did this last December. I found out that I was going to the gas station way too much just for Mountain Dew. And what happened was I was going in there for a Mountain Dew, but then maybe I'd buy a slice of pizza. Then I'd maybe get a bag of chips. And I ended up spending way too much money at the gas station every month. So I was able to reduce cost by, instead of buying Mountain Dews every day, I bought it in bulk, right? And then you can also move money to hide it. And what I mean by that is you can take it from one account and put it into another one so you don't see it. But again, guys, this is all in time. You guys will learn much more about this, okay? So the big thing here is you want to save $20 of every $100 earned. So the 50 rule, right? The 50% rule, spending on things that you need, right? This is $50 out of every 100. So you're going to have to spend it on housing, utilities, vehicle costs, which includes gas and maintenance. And then your 30% picks up here, which is your entertainment, movies, Broadway shows. Not that we have Broadway shows everywhere, but that's how you spend your money, okay? But the key big thing is you never spend more than what you have. You never want to spend more money than what you currently have, okay? That's how you get yourself into trouble, and that's how you end up in the negatives, and that's a very hard hole to dig yourself out of. So taxes. We talked a little bit about taxes a little bit. Everybody pays taxes, right? You pay taxes to the federal government, the state government, local government. You pay taxes on everything that you buy at a store. And you also pay taxes if you own any property, meaning like your house. So do you guys remember what taxes pay for? So a healthy economy. We were talking about this earlier, right? The economy. It attempts to answer 3 questions. Every economy attempts to do this. It attempts to ask what to produce, meaning what to make, how to do it, okay, and who to sell it for or who to sell it to. So basically, if you're looking at an economy and everybody doesn't know how to use a computer, we're just going to pretend that nobody knows how to use a computer. A thing you would not want to make would be a computer, right? Because if nobody knows how to use them, you wouldn't be able to sell them. So that's what the economy is trying to figure out: what to produce, how to do it the cheapest, and who to produce it for. And like I said, we just talked about this: decisions made from supply and demand about what to produce, least amount of cost on how to produce it, and which consumers will buy. All right, guys. So that is it for today. I'm going to go through this. Did you get it? And you'll be able to answer your questions as you go through this. Okay, guys? All right. All right, guys. So did you get it? I'm just going to read the question, pause, and then you'll be prompted to answer the question. Okay. What do businesses do? Told by government what to sell? Do they sell goods and services? Do they determine what consumers buy and when? And I'm just marking the X's so I know where to insert the question. What is a good? Is it something that is made, sold, and taken with you? Is it work that someone does for someone? Is it a business owner that has freedom of choice? What is a service? Is it something that is made, sold, and taken with you? Is it work that someone does for someone? Is it a business owner that has freedom of choice? What is a risk? Is it a chance of no loss or no harm? Is it a chance of loss or harm, or nothing? Risk doesn't exist. So, what happens if buying and selling slows down? Is the economy slowing down, hurting everyone? Is the economy speeds up, helping everyone? Is it prices go down, helping only buyers? What happens to the price if supply increases but demand stays the same? Will the price go up, the price go down, or the price will stay the same? What has an impact on the economy of a country? Is it growth, business opening and closing, employment, people who have jobs? Or is it price stability? Does it move too much up or down? And output, what is being made? Or is it C, all of the above? So, what does a healthy economy has? It has two characteristics. And can you name those for me? Is it competition and even growth, competition and fast growth, or competition and slow growth? What does competition do for consumers? Meaning, what does it do for me and you, people buying the items? Does it do nothing to the prices? Does it lower the prices, or does it raise the prices? So, is this a good or a service? A kid playing games, playing video games. Is that a good or a service? Is this a good or a service? A photographer taking pictures at a wedding. So, did you get it? What is one smart way that people can use money that they earn? Is it A, burn it, B, save some of it, or C, spend it all? How much should you save from your paycheck? Is it $50 for every $100 earned, $20 for every $100 earned, or $30 for every $100 earned? And remember, that's that 50-30-20 proposition that I showed you guys. So do people pay taxes on property like houses, cars, etc.? So for today's homework, this is what you are required to do. You need to read supply and demand. You are not required to do the assignments and the reading, okay? So homework, this is kind of yesterday's homework. If you didn't get to it, do it today. Week 19 homework, supply and demand worksheets. Read goods and services. Again, you are not required to do assignments and the reading. Homework is week 19, homework goods and services worksheets. Read jobs and industries. I know there's a lot of reading today, guys. I'm sorry. You are not required to do assignments and the reading. Homework, watch the 50-30-20 rule video. You can also tune in to CNN 10 and turn in your worksheet for a bonus point for today. for telling me what CNN 10 is about. And study your week 1 study guide. All right, guys, that's all there is for today. I will see everybody back in class tomorrow. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.